Okay, so if you guys take a look on the image which I have on the screen, you guys might have seen this kind of same menu bar present at the bottom of different kind of applications. So hello everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Flutter tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 12, where I'll be showing you guys about the bottom tab navigation. What is a bottom tab navigation bar? Okay, so if you guys take a look on the image which I have on the screen, you guys might have seen this kind of same menu bar present at the bottom of different kind of applications. So most of the applications that we use, we have seen this kind of a bottom navigation bar in those applications as well. Okay, so this particular menu or the bottom navigation bar or bottom tab navigation is present at the bottom of the scaffold. Okay, so we have learned that a particular page is the whole thing of a page is basically of scaffold, and it is actually present at the bottom of the scaffold. Okay, and if you take a look that there are different options like home, wallet, analytics, reward, settings, and depending upon the application, the options they basically vary. So if you take a look, or if I just make you guys try to understand it in a simple way, I do have a bar, and inside those bar, I do have different kind of icons. And one icon consists of an icon and a label or a tag. Okay, so you can also add multiple icons and multiple text in there as items. Okay, so bottom tab navigation bar consists of items, and an item consists of different icons and different text. And once you click on those icons and those tabs, you might be getting some different messages. Okay, we have learned how to get action bars. Okay, and you can also fix that what is going to be the default page. Okay, you guys can also do that. So now let's move on to Android Studio and let's see practically how it actually works. So over here on my screen, as you guys can see, now in our last class, we do have learned about the floating action button. Okay. So in the floating action button, now again, what I'm gonna do is I am basically going to minimize this. So let's come here and let's minimize it over here, the floating action button. And from here, now I am going to click on enter. And now I am going to add the bottom navigation bar class. So let's type bottom navigation bar. So once I just type BOT, here you have all of the suggestion of the widgets. Okay, so once I put this widgets, I need to mention the same thing as a class as well. So let's type bottom navigation bar. Okay, so here you guys can see the bottom navigation bar. And once I've opened this particular class, which is known as the bottom navigation bar, here it basically shows me items. So I need to make sure that I do put on items right over here. So for that, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the content inside. So let's come here. I will just delete this items option. Let's click on enter. Let's click on enter over here again. And now I will just add another option or another array over here, which is items. Okay. So this is going to be a list, and items over here basically means that what all do I want to include inside my bottom uh, navigation bar. Okay. So now if I just click on enter, you guys can see it is basically giving me an error. Okay. Because in my items option, I didn't basically add anything at all. Okay. So over here, I need to make sure that I do add some icons, like what all icons do I need? And also I do add a label to the icons that I'm going to work on with. Okay. So now once I've clicked on item, now let's click on enter. And now it is the time for adding these items in my navigation bar, which is the bottom navigation bar. So for that, I need to use a key bar. Okay, so here you guys can see the bottom navigation item. Okay, so over here now, as you guys can see, once I have added the bottom navigation bar item class, here it shows me icon. Okay, so I'm just going to put out icon as well. Okay, so icon, and I'll just type another class over here, which is icon. And now let's open another parenthesis inside. And you already know how you can add icons. So I will just put icon dot. And here you guys can see that there are a lot of these options. Okay, so let's come here and I'll just check which icon to basically use first. Okay, so these are pre-built icons that you guys can actually use. Okay, so let's come here and you guys can just add out a home page basically. So let me just search for that. So let's come here and if I just search for home, okay, so here you guys can see that I do have these home field option. So the first thing I did is I had actually added the items and now I'm mentioning what are the items that I do want to add. Okay, so over here now I have added an icon which is a home field icon. You guys can see it on the left hand side as well. Okay. And now as I have added this icon, I also need to add a label to it. Okay. So for that now let's come here. Let's put out a comma. And once you put out a comma, now I am going to type a label. Okay, so here you do have the key known as label. And after that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open my double quote and I'm just going to type home. Okay, so I will just type home right over here. Let's put a comma over here as well. Let's click on enter. Let's click on enter over here. Let's click on Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and Control V to paste back again. Okay. So as you guys can see now, I do have added are three of the same icon. So again, if I just click on Control S to save it, you guys can see now here I do have all these three icons or all these three items named as home. Okay, but now I don't want all of these three things as home. Okay, so I will just come here and I will just change out the icon. So let me just go with icon dot and I can just add which one do I want. So let me just go with uh, let me just go with this add box. Okay, I can just use this add box, otherwise I can just use this add box right over here. Okay, so I will just put this one, and over here in label, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type a cart. Okay, so I'll just make this one as cart. And now let's come here and I'm just going to type notification. Okay, so I will just go with this bar, which is the notification. And after that, I will name this one as notification. Okay, and I'll just delete this one right over here. Now let's click on Control S to save it, and you guys can see how it actually looks. Okay, so here it shows me home. Here I do have the item as cart. Here I do have the item as notification. Okay, so these three items are inside my bottom navigation bar over here. So now the next thing what I'm going to show you guys over here is if you take a look here in my device. Okay, so what or the emulator which I have opened, you guys can see that the home page is in a different color. Okay, than the other pages right over here, than the cart page or the notification option. Because now I can also select that by default what I actually want to select. Okay, like by default what I actually want to do, I can basically select that. Okay. So if I do want to come here, and for that, now I need to click on enter. Let's come here. Let's type enter, and I'm going to basically type current index. Okay, and if I just put on 0, and let's come here, let's click on enter, and for current index right now, if I just click on Control S, you guys can see my home page is basically opening up by default. Okay, so I don't have to particularly come here and I don't have to open up my home page. But here now, let's say I don't want the home page to open by default. Instead, I want the cart page to open by default. So for that now, I will just put the number as 1. And if I just click on Control S, you guys can see now my cart will be in a different color because by default it is opening our the cart page. So the same way, if I just put on current index to Control S for plus, and here you guys can see now the notification bar is basically opened by default. So for current index, I'll just keep it as 0. So Control S to save it. I want to keep my home page as default. So as this is done, so now what I want to do is now I do have all these items inside my bottom navigation bar. Okay. So what I want to do is I also want to add some other functions to it. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here and I'm just going to click on enter, and I'm just going to type on tap. Okay, so over here I do have this particular function which is on tap, and after that I will just come here and I'll just open parenthesis. Okay, so once you open this parenthesis, now you need to mention the index numbers as well. So the index number basically plays a huge role over here. First, I need to mention that using what I am going to specify what function to basically run. Okay, so I will just mention that it is going to be integers, and I will just type index. Okay, so I have mentioned it right over here on tab, and now let's open up the curly braces. Okay, so let's open out the curly braces, and I have clicked on enter. And on tap, now I am going to use the if function. Okay, so now let's try to use the if function right over here. So the first thing is that if, let's open parenthesis, if index is equal to 0. So in that case, now what I'm going to write, so that's basically the thing. Okay, so now let's come here. Let's close out the curly braces as well. And let's click on enter. And if you guys have remembered that while typing a action or while applying an action as a snack bar, I do have used this particular function which is known as my message. So it also have two parameters, but over here now I will just type my message. Okay. So and inside message now let's open out the double quote and I'm going to type that the home page. Okay, and I will just keep out the context the way it is. But over here inside the context option, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and put on semicolon. Okay, so that is basically done. So now let's come here, let's click on Control C and let's click on enter. And now I'll just put on Control V, click on enter and Control V back again. And now the same way I will just change the index number from index 1 to index 2. Okay, because as here I only do have three icons. So I have added the integers of 0, 1, and 2 accordingly. So the home page, then the, or let's type add to cart, and the next is your notification. Okay. So if you guys just take a look now, if you just click on OnTap, and let's say if you just click on to this zero index, it will show you the particular message. Okay, so here it will show you the home page message as a snack bar. Okay, so as a snack bar, it will show you that. And after that, if you click on cart here as a snack bar, it will show you add to cart option. And over here, if you put index equal to 2, it will put your notification over here as well. Okay, so this is it till now. And if I just click on Control S, now if I just click on home, here you guys can see it shows me the home page. If I go and click on cart here, it shows me a message of add to cart. And if I just click on notification here, it shows that your notification as a as a snack bar. Okay. So yeah, I hope you guys have understood this class. Okay, so over here we do have learned about the bottom navigation bar. And inside bottom navigation bar, we have checked that how you can work with the current index and also how you will be able to add different kind of items inside the bottom navigation bar items. We have also seen that how you guys can actually use the if statement to get any particular result on the items that you have added in the bottom navigation bar item. So yeah, I hope to see you all in the next chapter where we are going to learn more about Flutter. So if I just show you guys, let's open my application, and from here we have already talked about the app bar. We have already talked about the floating action button. Now here in this class, we have learned about the bottom tab navigation. So in our next classes, we are going to learn about the drawer, the end drawer, and also about the body. So yeah, see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.